guys, and welcome to our channel. So for my day ones, y'all know me, my name is Sade. For my newbies, welcome in. My name is Sade. I'm the owner of Third Generation Conjure, and for today's video we are going to start the 2026 tarot reading. So it's been a while since I came on here and did a video, but I gotta keep tradition going. So we do these readings every year, and for this particular reading we're going to start with the sign of Aries. Okay, so we're just going to see what 2026 holds for Aries. I'm reading from the traditional Rider-Waite deck here, but I'm also going to be reading from the Well-Worn Path. So the Well-Worn Path is an old deck that it was like one of my first decks I got when I was, I'm not going to tell my age, about 20 years ago. So I just like reading them because I really like those for like spiritual messages. So, you know, we're going to read from both of these decks and we'll just see what the energy holds for Aries for 2026. Now, do check your sun, moon, and rising because things may resonate a little bit differently and it may resonate more on your rising sign. So, you know, just make sure to check all of those. But it's also accurate for your sun sign too. Just maybe some different aspects that it may touch on. So, yeah, let's see what 2026 holds for us, guys. All right, Aries, so we are back with your reading. And you know what's so funny? I did this reading and I got a new camera, but this is the first reading I did on this camera. Well, really the first type of content. And it recorded absolutely nothing. It recorded the first reading that I did, but it didn't save. Okay, so I decided instead of trying to go back and redo the same cards, I just repull. So must have been a message that I needed to shift a little bit for Aries. So this is the second time I've done this reading. Like I stated, the first one, it recorded, but there was no sound that recorded. So must have been not meant. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through each aspect that I pulled on and we're gonna interpret these cards. Okay, so for the present Aries, we get the Six of Pentacles, the card of Judgment, and the Voice of the Wind. Okay, so in the present right now, we get the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so this right now is a period, Aries, where you're evaluating the reciprocity of your relationships. Okay, this is a period to really sit back and think about if the relationships and things that you are giving your time and energy to are producing results. So really a period of, with Judgment, this is kind of like you seeing things for what they are. You're seeing relationships, situations, jobs, whatever the case may be. This is a period where you're evaluating what's worth your time and if it's giving you a return on the energy that you're exerting. Okay, when you see this card right here, you look at these Six Pentacles and you see that this guy has a scale and he's giving from to the poor, and this person over here, they're not receiving anything. They just have a scale above their head. Okay, so sometimes this is a period where the giving is unbalanced, okay, and it's not equal. So really, this is a time for you to be open to receiving, but also be willing to give. It has to be a balance between the two, and it looks like that's the period that you're in right now. When you see the Judgment card, this is like a card of basically judgment. Okay, so you getting back what you have put out into the universe, what you put out into the world. Also, when you see the Judgment card, this sometimes is like a rebirth. Okay, so even with the first reading that I did that did not record, it was like Aries is going through an identity shift throughout the year of 2026. So you're not going to be the same person, which is a good thing because we have to be able to evolve. Okay, so you know, when you see the Judgment card, this also points to balance, as far as it's kind of like the Justice card. You may be being judged too harshly, or maybe you're judging others too harshly. So this really comes as a period of self-evaluation. So really a period of where you're evaluating your life, you're evaluating yourself in order to move forward going into the new year. So a lot of you under the sign may be evaluating relationships, evaluating that job, just seeing if things are matching your purpose in life. And speaking of which, behind this, we get the voice of the wind. Okay, so the voice of the wind deals with your higher calling. It deals with your purpose in this life. So this is, if you've been sitting back thinking about things that are just not pouring into you, it's just not making you feel whole, that's going to be normal for you right now, Aries. Okay, so you're really in a period where you're evaluating your life, you're finding your higher calling, and you're moving forward. Okay, so you know, a lot of people base their higher calling on things they can monetize or business ideas, whatever the case may be, or your career. That's not necessarily your, it doesn't necessarily have to be your calling. Okay, it doesn't have to be something that you monetize, and that's okay. Okay, so your higher calling might be being a great mom, or you know, a counselor to those that are within your family, whatever the case may be. It doesn't have to necessarily be something career-wise, although it can be career-wise for some people, okay, and they may monetize whatever their calling is, okay, but really just a period of self-evaluation right now, Aries. Be okay with the evaluation. So I pulled on some challenges that you may encounter this year, and we get the Five of Swords, we get the Three of Pentacles, and we get the card of the Sun. So the Five of Swords to me is like a sneaky type energy. Okay, so there may be a challenge with those that are around you and within your circle, so you may need to make sure that you're watching your surroundings. Okay, this guy is holding these three swords while these two people walk off in defeat. Okay, so he's like triumphed over that. When you see this, once again, watch your circle, but also when I look at the Five of Swords too, I see things as far as being strategic, moving in silence. Okay, so you may have a challenge with, you know, you just being so excited about something that you want to accomplish, so you're sharing it with your family and friends, and you think they're going to have your same level of excitement, and that just does not happen. And I always say outside energy can affect goals. So one of the keys, I think, to elevating in life and to also manifest is having some type of level of secrecy. You don't have to share everything with everyone. So this is really a period of you moving in silence. Whatever you're doing, like if you got a goal, you like, hey, I'm taking a course, whatever the case may be, don't announce it. Just do it, and then when it's done, you can tell people about it. Okay, whatever you're doing in secret, and I saw that with the other reading, whatever you're doing in secret is going to you'll be acknowledged for it in the public eventually with the Sun. Okay, so not wanting instant gratification. So, you know, keep working without recognition right now. Okay, that may be a challenge for you. And we see that with the Sun card. So this is, once again, the Sun illuminates things. Okay, the Sun is vibrant, it has confidence. So you may have a challenge with being confident this year. You may have a challenge with not receiving that recognition, but even if you don't receive the recognition, you need to do it anyway. Okay, then we get the Three of Pentacles behind this, and the Three of Pentacles deals with collaboration and being open to collaboration. Okay, when you see it as a challenge, especially with this Five of Swords, you probably need to be aware and cognizant of the people you are sharing your energy with and collaborating with. You know, when I did the first reading for Aries, it was like an energy of you having to remain silent because people are mimicking or copying you, or, you know, trying to imitate you, which is dimming your light. So it's really going to be important that you have discernment with the people that are situations that you collaborate with this year. Okay, also the Three of Pentacles can be like being open to collaboration. Just make sure that you're mindful of those connections and making sure that there is a balance. Okay, a balance of give and take. Okay, make sure that everything that you do, partnerships, business, career, whatever the case may be, that things are reciprocated. Okay, energy has to be balanced. Energy has to be reciprocated. So I pulled some underlying roots, okay? So just some things that are influencing you this year. So we get the Nine of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Eighth Dam, okay? So we'll start with this card. This is about cutting out things that you need to release this year. And we, like I said, I saw this in the first reading. I also see it later on down when we get to these advice cards. You're going to have to be comfortable with letting go of the old way of doing things and the old connections that are just not serving your growth. And it doesn't have to be something that's a knockout, drag out, but just severing those ties from situations and people that are just hindering you and not allowing you to move forward. You know, sometimes we feel like this when we're elevating to the next level, we can't always take people with us to the next level, okay? And sometimes you have to sever those ties, even if it's not knockout, drag out, I'm cutting you out of my life, you just kind of drift away or drift apart. You have to be okay with not trying to take everybody with you, okay? It comes back to that reciprocation energy, okay? Because sometimes when you are trying to pull somebody up with you to your level, they end up pulling you back down. So it's going to be very important that you pay attention to those things this year as well. Also, this card tells you that you're the designer of your own destiny and you create your own reality. So this is about carving out your own type of mini world, okay? Making sure that you're using tools and knowledge to your advantage as well. With the Nine of Wands, this deals with protection, okay? And protecting your boundaries, standing up for what you believe in, standing up for your dreams and aspirations. So one of the influencing things is going to be how you protect your boundaries and your energy this year, which we saw with this Six of Pentacles, making sure that things are balanced and things are reciprocated, okay? So one particular thing that that's going to influence your year is like how well you protect those boundaries, how well you defend yourself, how well you step in confidence and stand on your beliefs, okay? Then we get the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is wands are fast cards, okay? When you see the Knight of Wands, this is like things coming at you, opportunities coming at you. So really going to be important for you to capitalize on those opportunities. Also, one thing that will influence your year is what actions are you taking, okay? You can sit here and manifest and journal and light candles and do all of the above 369. And I'm not saying things just won't come to you naturally and you won't have opportunities, but when those opportunities appear, you have to capitalize on it. So anything as far as manifestation requires inspired action. So what's going to also influence your year is what type of action are you taking, okay? Are you going after those goals with confidence, or are you letting opportunities pass you by because maybe you're complacent or maybe you're scared of change? You know, sometimes we look at what I saw with the previous reading was your subconscious fears, okay? So, you know, I gave an example of, let's just say you want to, I use finances because that's something that everybody is usually concerned with. So let's just say you desire to make more money, okay? But subconsciously, you have been taught that people with money are evil, or you have been taught that you got to work super hard to live a good life. So subconsciously, you overwork. Subconsciously, you repel money because you think it's evil, even though that's not in your forefront of your mind. It's in your subconscious, and it's a belief that was ingrained in you, even if it was something from childhood. Money doesn't grow on trees, just things of that nature, you know. So you have to acknowledge those things, and also sometimes it's good to go deep, do some shadow work so you can address those subconscious beliefs. But overall, what you put out is what you're going to get, okay, this year. All right, so I asked how you appeared to others this year, okay? And for this, we get the Seven of Swords, the Eight of Wands, and the As Above, So Below. All right, so this is very important. Okay, so we'll start with the Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords, just like the Five of Swords, is like a sneaky type energy. So others may feel like you're being sneaky. You know, maybe they see you as being manipulative because you're not announcing your plans. Okay, they may, oh, you acting funny. You know, that's the common thing when somebody can't get in your business. You know, so if you're so used to announcing what you're doing or looking for outside and external validation, and then you go back to withdrawing and just kind of moving in silence, then others are gonna look at. All right, y'all. I don't even know what I was saying. My battery went dead, so I had to change out my battery. So yeah, they keep trying to interrupt this message, but it's gonna get out. So yeah, basically, like we were saying with the Seven of Swords, this is like people seeing you like you're being sneaky or manipulative, even though that may not be the case. You just probably not telling people your next move, so you become kind of like unpredictable in a sense. Okay, then we get the Eight of Wands behind this. This is the Eight of Wands is like movement. Okay, it's like being on the go. Okay, somebody who's doing a lot. So a lot of people see you as somebody who might be kind of like a busy bee. You're doing a lot. Like, what is she doing? Like, how is she getting that, or how is he getting that? That's kind of like the perception that you are showing others this year. And then we get the as above, so below. So with as above, so below, this is like your inner reflecting your outer. Okay, so however you feel inside is what's going to be displayed externally. Okay, so if you're feeling like that little down and depressed and all that kind of stuff, that's going to be how other people see you, and your confidence is going to determine how other people view you. Okay, so your inner is going to reflect the outer. If inside you're working on yourself, you feeling confident, you're working on your confidence, then that's what's going to be displayed to everyone else. And then once you work on that inner, you get that confidence up, then you're going to have opportunities that present themselves because you have that that energy. You have that energy of confidence. You have that energy of being in a receiving energy and not feeling like you have to do something out of the ordinary or work extra hard to deserve to live a good life. But whatever you have feeling on the inside, that's how everybody else is going to see you this year. Okay, so then next I pulled on a theme for those within the sign of Aries. So we get the Six of Wands, the Three of Cups, and we get the card of reincarnation. Okay, so we'll start with the Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands actually came up in the present on the other reading. So this was just saying that whatever you were working on in secret or in silence, you'll get recognition for it, even if it's not instant gratification right now. So that's not something that you need to be working on getting, not instant gratification or any kind of praise. But overall, as far as a theme, this is like getting that recognition that you deserve. Okay, whether that is in relationships, whether that's in your business. I kind of see this like as a viral card, you know. So, you know, if you do some type of social media or something like that, you know, look for your viral moment this year. Okay, that's just kind of an example. So it's like whatever you've been doing in the past, and if you've been feeling like I've been, you know, grinding, I've been in school and I've been trying to finish this degree. I've been doing this for years and I haven't seen any kind of, you know, results. This is like the year of seeing results and you getting recognized for what it is that you do. And then we get the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is all about celebration. It's also a card of collaboration. Okay, so you may also be celebrating something. You know, a lot of you could be, if you're the partying type, you know, you can be getting out and just kind of enjoying life. You know, just make sure that there's a balance. You know, there's nothing wrong with enjoying life, but also make sure that you just have, you know, kind of a balance with what it is that you got going on within your life. Okay, so, you know, you may have some connections that come up, some of those, you know, those friendships and such. So, you know, just enjoy the moment. Okay. So then lastly, we get the card of reincarnation that comes up as a theme as well. And this addresses like renewal and return. Okay. So this is about, you know, you being restored. Your vitality is being restored. Your power is being restored. This is also like enlightenment through trial. So if you've been having a rough year before, or you just been having a rough time, this is like you being able to come out on top and have more power because you have endured those lessons in a sense. Okay, so it makes you better and prepares you. You know, and the other reading I saw initiation that came up, which it looks like is in this reading too. So that's kind of like a theme. So whatever you've been through has been like an initiation period, and this is pushing you to be the highest version of yourself this year, Aries. Okay, so then next we pulled on influence and aspects. So what is influencing your year? These two pages came up. There may be some young people that, if you're a mother or something of that nature, a father, there may be some young people that may influence some situations this year. And let's see. So we'll go. I'm looking at my paper, y'all, because I'm trying to make sure that I'm looking at the right aspects that we pulled on. Okay, so yeah, so the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups deals with offers. Okay, it is a card of creativity. It's a card of like youthfulness. Okay, and that's why I said some children or young people may influence your year. Okay, but overall, this is like offers that come in, opportunities. It's a card of creativity. So that's going to be something that influences your year. If you capitalize on those creative moments and those bursts of energy, if you capitalize on those Page of Cups offers, okay, that's going to determine how your year goes. Okay, then we get the Page of Pentacles behind this, and once again, a youthful card, but also the card of the student. So your education, educating yourself, and that doesn't have to be formal education, you know, college or anything like that, but what are you learning? Okay, how are you educating yourself throughout this year? Okay, that's going to influence how things go for you. Okay, so really this is a year of building. You know, I like to just add some of the stuff that I saw with the first reading, because it seems like it's kind of pretty much on the same message, even though there's, you know, a couple things that may be missing. But overall, this is like a building year for you, Aries. Okay, a year where you're looking towards longevity. With the pentagram behind this, the pentagram deals with creativity. Once again, manifestation. That's that Page of Cups energy. So this is about you being able to create within your mind, your spirit, and your body. Okay, and this is about manifestation, and also making sure that you have balance between the material and also the spiritual as well. So making sure, you know, a lot of times I see with people that are spiritual, or even if you're religious, whatever your beliefs are, there's no balance. Okay, you can't be so caught up in your crown chakra and your upper chakras that you're not paying attention to the root, which what I mean is you have to be balanced in reality as well. You can talk about escaping the matrix, all of this, all that kind of thing, that type of things, but at the same time, you still have to operate in the physical reality, which sometimes is hard. You know, I'm a spiritual teacher. I run a metaphysical shop. I do a lot of things that are spiritual, but I try to, even in my teachings, apply it to practical life, because we still have to operate in this reality. Okay, so just making sure that you balance your material and your spiritual as well is going to influence how your year go. Make sure that you're not pouring too much into one or the other. Okay, just making sure that there's a proper balance between the two. So then next I pulled on, you know, some aspirations and some concerns. So for this, we get the Ten of Cups, the Five of Cups, and the card of initiation. So, you know, a lot of people under this sign are looking towards their personal relationships. They're looking towards healing generational things and things of that nature. And that's something that they aspire to do. They aspire to heal and move on. But also, some of the concerns and problems that you may run into is that you're mourning this past version of yourself when you need to be moving on. The initiation card is, once again, those trials that we go through. If you think about an initiation with anything, it makes you uncomfortable. And in order for you to move forward and actually thrive in something, or if you want something bad enough, you're going to deal with that sacrifice and you're going to deal with that uncomfortableness. So this is really a period where, you know, those under the sign may be concerned with change. You know, you may be concerned with things are not the same. You know, you're sitting here looking at what you lost and you're not paying attention to the cups that are standing upright. Okay, so really going to be a period for you to be okay with letting go, being okay with surrendering, okay? I saw in the previous reading the Hangman, which is like new perspectives, things of that nature, which came up as a challenge. And, you know, this is really just a year where you're not crying over spilled milk with this Five of Cups, okay? This is like crying over things that are not necessary. It's making yourself depressed over things that you just don't need to, okay? This is really just kind of focusing on moving forward and not reflecting and trying to hold on and cling to the past so much that it stunts your growth, okay? So for advice, we get the Four of Cups, the World, the Ace of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, the Crone, and Summerlin, okay? So we'll first start with the Four of Cups, okay? So when you look at this card, this is a guy, he's sitting under the tree. He's like got his arms folded. He's pitching a fit basically because he don't have these three cups, okay? But he has another cup extending from the cloud that he's not even paying attention to, okay? So sometimes this could represent that you're so focused on what you don't have that you miss the opportunities and the blessings that are in front of you. So this is just about keeping your mind open to the blessings that are coming to you, to opportunities. And sometimes we look at opportunities, for instance, let's just say you're entering a new field, okay? And you're trying to get your foot in the door. So sometimes you might get an offer like maybe that job, the first entry-level job is not paying what you need to pay. You know, it's a little bit low. So you're like, no, I'm not doing that. I can't take. But at the same time, if you take this job and work it maybe 4 or 5 months, 6 months, you can move to the next level and you can have experience. That's kind of what this is insinuating. So you're going to have offers that come to you, as we saw with the Page of Cups. But you got to make sure that you're not overlooking your blessings as well, okay? So just some advice for this year, okay? We get the World card, and the World card is about cycles and completion. We just finished the 9-year, the year of the snake. I'm a snake in astrology, so I was like, oh, it's gonna be my year, but no. It actually was a year where whatever you didn't need, the blinders came off, and this is kind of like the energy for Aries, okay? The World is about completion. The World is about moving on. It's cycles. It's closing. It's at the end of the major arcana. So this is like an ending, okay? But with all endings come what? New beginnings, okay? So really a period of you embracing these new cycles and moving forward, because the World is also like worldly success, okay? So this is like, once again, that Six of Wands energy. That's like recognition, things of that nature. So make sure that you are not trying to stay stuck in the past, but you're moving forward, okay? And then we get, I'm gonna go with this card because it's similar to this, okay? So the Summerlin tells you that new eyes see new ways of doing things. So a lot of you under this sign may be going through a spiritual awakening, another spiritual awakening, just seeing a different outlook on life. But with the Summerlin card, this is about change, and this tells you that change is not optional. You have no control over this. So whatever you're refusing to let go, you're going to be forced to let go. This kind of reminds me of like a Ten of Swords energy, okay? So Ten of Swords are like forced losses. So it's just like, for instance, let's say you got a job and your boss been riding you. You've been trying to do your work, do your best, and you just constantly getting hit, okay? It's like no matter what you do, it's never good enough, which is your sign to move, to elevate, to get from that job. But you're going to wait until they come and fire you. You have to be forced out the door. So that's the kind of energy that this holds. Just making sure that you are moving with this energy. When spirit and your intuition is telling you to move, you need to move, okay? And that was one of the aspirations I saw. I saw the High Priestess and the Moon card come up in the previous reading. Making sure that you're listening to your intuition, okay? And when spirit tells you to move, move so you don't have to be forced out, okay? Whether that's a relationship, job, whatever the case may be, okay? So then we get the Crone card, and this deals with contemplation. It deals with reflection. A lot of you saw that with the Judgment card in the beginning, where you're in a period of reevaluating your life, okay? With the Crone card, this is about making sure that you use your energy wisely, okay? It's also about conserving your resources. So we saw that this year is a year of building. So even in the financial sense, this is about building, not living lavish, spending. This is kind of like conserving your resources, making sure that you build so you can have momentum, okay? Not really a big reaping year, but more of a planting year, okay? Not to say you can't reap any benefits, but that's just what it is, okay? So this is just making sure that, once again, that you are using your energy wisely. It also deals with like counselors, advisors, things of that nature. So if you need counseling, if you are, you know, a life coach or a counselor or something of that nature, make sure that you're doing what you got to do, okay? And then we get the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Swords comes with clarity, okay? It's like an aha moment. That's my aha moment card. So this is about opening your eyes. So whatever is being shown to you, revelations, things of that nature, make sure that you are listening to it, okay? Make sure that you are moving when you're supposed to move. Like I said, that High Priestess energy that I saw in the previous. Make sure that you are, you know, you're listening to what is being told to you, okay? You're paying attention. You see some red flags, make sure that you ain't ignoring it. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the energy of that, okay? So just make sure that you're following your intuition. For some outcomes, we get the Three of Wands, Strength, the Queen of Swords, Temperance, Water, and the card of Green Man. Okay, I know it's a lot. So the Three of Wands is a card of expansion. So a lot of you are, when you look at this Three of Wands, this is a guy, he's holding these three wands. He's looking out to sea. He's forward moving. He's in a period of expansion. Is bigger than the two. When you see the Two of Wands, that's like you planning for the future. You really haven't made any moves. You're in the beginning stages. The three is when things actually start moving, okay? So you will see a lot of y'all throughout this year. You'll get some opportunities this year. We saw that with the Page of Cups. That will set the tone for you to have a prosperous year and a prosperous future, okay? Even in the previous reading, I had like the Ten of Pentacles come up, which is like generational wealth. This is the start of you building something generational, not just here and now, fly by night. Really a focus on the future, okay? And making sure that you're capitalizing on those opportunities. We get the Strength card, and this is a card of confidence. Once again, you stepping into your confidence, but you having a calm confidence, not like a cocky confidence, which, you know, I don't even like to use the word cocky, because confidence is confidence. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, they created the word humble just to keep us in a box, you know what I'm saying, to lower yourself, and I don't really like that. But with this, you see that this lady on the card, she is strong enough to handle this beast, but she's also gentle enough to nurture him. So you will see that you step into a confidence, but it's going to be a calm type confidence. It's kind of like somebody walking in and their presence shifts the room, and they don't even have to say anything. It's just their presence. They have like a quiet type presence. Like we know, most of the quietest people in the room are often the most powerful, and that's the type of energy that Aries is projecting out this particular year. And then we get the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is, you know, she speaks her mind. She's to the point, okay? A lot of you are stepping into this Queen of Swords energy. Some people can look at her like a bitch, because sometimes this is like a bitch card. But she's also like calm. She's calm, cool, and collected. But she also don't take no shit, okay? I'm just going to shoot it straight to you, okay? So this is like stepping into that energy, especially if you've been very timid and just not speaking your mind, being a people pleaser. This is kind of getting out of that and really stepping into who you are. A whole identity shift, Aries, for you this year. And we see that with the Temperance card. This is like you being balanced, not being not over giving or being a people pleaser. You are looking for things that are being reciprocated, as we saw with the Six of Pentacles, okay? It's like if it's not serving you, it gotta go. Okay, then we get the card of, we'll go to Water next. So water is kind of like moving with the flow. It is, it's like currency, okay? It's like things flowing, your money flowing, your emotions flowing and being balanced. You're stepping more into your intuition. You're being a lot calmer and a lot peaceful. Now, don't let water confuse you, okay? Because water can be calm and peaceful, but it can also be dangerous, you know, especially if you don't respect it. So that's the type of energy that Aries is stepping into. Like I see with the Queen of Swords. You're calm, you're cool, you're collected, you're sweet, you're kind, but you also you're not going to be a pushover anymore, okay? And then lastly, we get the card of Green Man to finish this out. So the Green Man card deals with the earthly material type world, okay? So the Green Man, once again, deals with the material. It's about abundance. It's about growth. It's about success, okay? So as a finishing touch on this deals with your prosperity, your growth, and your abundance, okay? So this is about survival. And this is also a period where you may need to get into nature in order to tap into this abundant type energy. Water, workings, things of that nature, water manifestation, spiritual baths, making sure you add water to your rituals, things of that nature, to make sure that you have that flow and you keep that abundance. But overall, an abundant year where you're really stepping into your power, you're having an identity shift, and you're just kind of moving to this, I care more about me than anyone else, okay? And that's not being selfish, it's a necessity, okay? So hope you guys like this reading. I hope this recorded. I'm going to say it did. But make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel. And I left all of our links for our social media in the description bar below. And until next time, guys. Bye-bye.